For years, I carried a four-leaf clover, seeing it as my lucky charm. Though I considered myself a Christian, I was living with one foot in faith and the other in superstition, crediting this dried leaf for my good fortune. My perspective shifted when I took a closer look at what the Bible actually says about luck, fear, and trust. My first realization was that superstition is misplaced faith. It's the habit of giving power to created things, a charm, a ritual, a zodiac sign, instead of the Creator. The Bible gently calls us to a different understanding. The command in Exodus 23, "You shall have no other gods before me," isn't just about physical idols. It's about not letting anything else take God's place in our hearts as the one we truly rely on. This guidance is meant to lead us to a life free from fear. In Deuteronomy, God warns against seeking control through lucky signs, as these practices are rooted in fear rather than a trusting relationship with Him. The Apostle Paul continues this, cautioning us not to be deceived by human traditions that pull our focus away from Christ. Colossians 2:8. So, what is the alternative to superstition? The Bible offers a simple antidote, a deep and abiding trust in God's loving control over our lives. Proverbs 3:5 and 6 says it perfectly. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your paths. This kind of active trust makes superstitious fears unnecessary. Why would I need a clover to feel safe if I believe I am cared for by a loving God who holds my future? Faith offers something far better than luck. It offers peace. It is the freedom that comes from letting go of the need to control everything and placing our hope in God. The most profound example of this, a story from the Gospels, is what truly illustrates the difference between a superstitious act and a touch of life-changing faith. That story begins on a crowded street. While on his way to Jairus' house, Jesus was surrounded by a massive crowd, and pushing through the crowd was a woman who had been sick for 12 long years. She suffered from constant bleeding that had made her life miserable. She had spent all her money on doctors, but they couldn't help her. In fact, she had only gotten worse. But when she heard about Jesus, a new hope grew inside her. She was certain that if she could just get close enough to Him, she would be healed. Weak and struggling, she followed Him through the crowd, trying to get near. Finally, as Jesus walked past, she saw her one chance. She thought to herself, "If I can only touch the edge of His clothes, I will be healed." Reaching out, she managed to touch the very border of His garment. In that single moment, she felt a change. The bleeding stopped, and the strength of perfect health flowed back into her body. For the first time in 12 years, she was completely well. Filled with gratitude, she started to slip away quietly. But suddenly, Jesus stopped. The entire crowd halted with Him. He turned and asked a question that everyone could hear.
Who touched me?
His question seemed strange. Peter, who was always quick to speak, said, "Master, the crowd is all around you, pushing and pressing against you. Why would you ask who touched you?" Jesus replied, "Someone touched me with purpose. I felt power go out from me." Jesus was looking for the woman. Seeing that she couldn't hide, she came forward trembling and fell at His feet. With tears of joy, she explained why she had touched Him and how she had been instantly healed. Jesus looked at her kindly and said, "Daughter, be encouraged. Your faith has made you well. Go in peace." Watching Jesus stop the entire crowd for that one woman, I finally understood. He healed her privately, but He had her speak publicly for a powerful reason. He didn't want the credit to go to a piece of cloth, just like I used to give credit to my clover. By having her share her story, he was turning a secret, superstitious act into a bold public testimony. He was inviting her to be a witness, showing everyone that the healing came from her faith in God's power, not from a lucky touch. That's when it all clicked for me. The Bible says in Isaiah that we're to be witnesses of God's goodness, and sharing our stories is exactly how we do that. Just as Jesus gave that woman a platform, I realized I needed to share my own story. I no longer need this lucky charm because I've traded the anxiety of superstition for the peace of trust. The gift far greater than any luck a charm could ever promise.